Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show with certified financial fiduciary Tim Wood.
Let's sit down and make an actual plan, and we have definitely got to factor in that retirement danger zone. I wish to God someone had sat down and done that with my dad. We wish we would have known about these things.
Tim is a retirement and income planning expert, best-selling author, and the founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com. Tim focuses on wealth management, retirement income, tax and long-term care planning, and so much more.
Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. You've got an 87% chance of success. Well, son, that's a 13% chance of failure.
And now, the Safe Money Retirement Show with Tim Wood.
And we thank you so much for joining us. It's another edition of the Safe Money Retirement Show. Alongside certified financial fiduciary Tim Wood, I'm Kevin McAlpin. Glad to have you with us. And folks, I've got a jam-packed show coming your way in just a few moments. We're going to go over 3 of the biggest retirement planning mistakes Tim has seen over the years, and more importantly, how he can help you steer clear of those. Plus, we've got some answers to some of your listener-submitted questions, all of that and a whole lot more. But first things first, we do say hello to my good buddy, Tim Wood. Tim, it is a pleasure as always, and I hope you're having a great day today, my friend.
I am. I'm looking forward to the cooler weather on the horizon. As you know, it is not here yet in the South. August is still hot. But man, every once in a while you get up early in the morning, like I was up quite early this morning, and you step outside and you're like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right, fall. I see where you're going. All right. Fall's my favorite season, bro. So I'm, football, the cooler weathers, the change, everything. I love everything about fall. That's by far my favorite. So I'm excited.
And when you start to think football season, you also start to think about fall and the end of a calendar year. And Tim, I know things have been very busy for you and the team at Safe Money Retirement, but an opportunity for our listeners, if maybe they're trying to get a jump on that year-end financial plan, now's as good a time as ever, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, now because honestly, October and November for us normally are really packed months. Yeah. So now's a perfect time. It's also a perfect time if you just turned 73 and you need to worry about RMDs. Guess what? Need to take care of that. We need to sit down and figure out what are we going to do? How are we going to do? How do we need to plan? This is actually a really good time of year to sit down and kind of just make sure everything is 100% where you want it to be.
If you'd like to learn more, you want to get on Tim's calendar with no cost and no obligation. It starts with one visit to SafeMoneyRetirement.com. Again, SafeMoneyRetirement.com. And Tim, I know we've talked on this show that it's never too late or too early to start these types of conversations when it revolves around retirement and financial planning. But I know there's some folks tuned into the show today. They probably think it's too late to start exercising. Well, if that's you, I've got some news for you, folks. Saw this new study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, and it finds just 90 to 120 minutes of strength training per week is linked to a 13% lower risk of death from any cause. Now, if you add in a little aerobic exercise, the benefits grow. But here is the catch. It's not always better. There's no added benefit beyond those 2 hours a week. And I know, Tim, a lot of folks out there listening, they're living longer, right? And that's great unless your money runs out first. So let's talk about some of the biggest planning mistakes you've seen over the years. When someone goes into retirement, they're healthy, and they just assume that savings is going to keep up with them over the years.
Yeah, unfortunately, I see that, as you can imagine, Kevin, all too often is people. I just had a client right before we were recording this podcast. I literally just had a client in my office and we were having this discussion. 5 years ago, my dad was completely fine. Mm-hmm. If we had sat down with my dad 5 years ago and said, here's what's going to happen over the next 5 years, he would say, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way. I'm totally fine. I'm still completely 100% fine. And now he's gone from dementia that quickly. Yeah. So, yeah, making sure that you've got a plan. I mean, we talk about that every week, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, making sure you have got a plan. But one of the things that people do a lot, one of the biggest things I see is people underestimate how long they're going to live. Yeah. They underestimate how long retirement lasts. People will come in and see me at 62, 65, 68, in their 50s, whatever. And they're like, yeah, okay, well, I should be good. Had a guy yesterday. What I've got right now, I had my guy run a thing and it said I've got a 93% chance of still being good to 87. I said, okay, that's fantastic. I said, number one, that to me means a 7% chance of failure, but that's, okay.
Right.
If you're willing to take those chances. Anyway, would you take a 7% chance of playing Russian roulette that there's a 7% chance that bullet's going to hit you?
No chance.
That's what you're doing.
Nope.
So what you've got to decide is it worth taking that chance, or does it make more sense to make sure you've got enough guaranteed income to cover for you for the rest of your life? Now, some numbers, rates change all the time. Y'all hear me say that almost every week. Rates change all the time. But right now, I've got plans that will pay you between 6 and 8% guaranteed for the rest of your life. Or who out there has heard of the 4% rule?
Yeah.
Don't take your hands off the wheel if you're listening in the car, but most people have. Do y'all realize that rule was around and created before the internet?
Wow. Yeah.
It was based on financial data from the 50s to the 70s. Now, do you think that's relevant now? The answer is no. Mm-hmm. There's a study. Go to safemoneyretirement.com. Click on the media page. You'll find a study that shows, by Dr. Wade Fowle, showing that right now we're actually closer to about 2.5% is what you could safely, quote unquote, take out and expect it to last for the rest of your life. Now, people, why would you want to take out 2.5% in an IFCOM plan and hope versus 6 to 8% in a guaranteed lifetime income plan you and your spouse can't outlive? Hello? I mean, when I show people stuff, I say this all the time, Kevin. You've heard me say it. My clients are absolute geniuses at making their own decisions once they have the information. Mm-hmm. This is real. This is the truth. You need to make a decision. Do you want to play with IFCOM and hope you've got enough, or do you want to absolutely secure your retirement with guaranteed lifetime income? That's the decision that you've got to make. So that's one of the first things. People all the time are assuming their portfolio is going to stay like it is. Oh my gosh, you know how much money I've made since 2008, Tim? I know, me too. Mm-hmm. But you know what goes up? What's the next thing? It's going to come.
Yeah, it's going to go the other way. It's going to go down.
It's going to go down, right? Everyone can finish that statement. Wake up. Sooner or later, the bubble we're in is going to burst. Now, do I know if it's going to be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 10 years from now? No, I have no freaking clue. And anyone that tells you they do, you better run, turn off the radio, go away, because they don't know. No one knows. But I do know that sooner or later, what goes up is going to come down, and you need to make sure you're prepared for that. You can't just plan on your portfolio doing what it's done for the last basically round number 20 years. Mm-hmm. Also, medical costs can absolutely and do absolutely blindside retirees. You need to make sure you've got a plan for that and make sure that your plan is solid and that you know what you're going to do. Now, do I do Medicare planning myself? No. I used to. I know all about it. I don't want to mess with it anymore. I personally don't do it. Do I have someone on my team that I recommend that does? Absolutely. They do the exact same thing that I do with retirement plans. They do with Medicare plans. They're going to look at every option. They're going to look at your pills you take. They're going to look at what doctors you go to, what hospitals you go to. Based on all of that, what's the best plan for you? Same thing I'm doing on the retirement side. You got to make sure that you're prepared for health care. The last thing I would say is a lot of times, even some people make a good plan. They make a solid plan, but then life happens. Mm-hmm. Stuff's going to happen. At some point in life, the stuff is going to hit the fan. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. Your kids are going to need some money. Something's going to happen health-wise and you need a chunk of change. You're going to need a new roof. I needed a new roof on the house last year. Well, there's $17,000 down the drain. Mm-hmm. Not down the drain, but you know what I'm saying? Out of my wallet. Out of $17,000 out of my wallet. All of these things are going to happen. We need to make sure that your plan not only can support you, but that in football terms, since we're getting into that season, you can call an audible because something's going to happen. I tell you, I promise you something's going to happen, and you need to be in a plan that you can call an audible and decide exactly how do we need to change because now this has happened in my life. Now this has happened in my life. What do we need to do? How do we need to course correct and make sure that we're still on target so your retirement is exactly what you want it to be?
We know, folks, you can't jump in a time machine and go back and start exercising 10 years ago, much like you can't go back in time and start your retirement planning any sooner. I know a lot of folks tuned into the show today. They spent weeks, maybe months, planning out that perfect summer vacation, but you're not spending that same amount of time when it comes to planning for your finances. The last thing you want to do is leave your future to chance. That's why you want to sit down with Tim Wood and the team at Safe Money Retirement. Here's what we'll do, folks, for our first 5 callers who schedule that complimentary Fact Finder appointment with Tim and his team. He's also offering up a complimentary copy of his book. It's called Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, and it's yours, complimentary, with no obligation. If you're one of our first 5 callers right now, 800-913-SAFE. Again, 800-913-7233. Online anytime at safemoneyretirement.com. Again, safemoneyretirement.com. And Tim, this is the part of the show we like to have a little fun here. We like to answer some listener-submitted questions. And if you would like to get involved in the show, it all starts with one email, info@safemoneyretirement.com. Again, info@safemoneyretirement.com. Who knows? We could answer your question on the air in a future episode. Tim, today's question comes to us from a trainer, and they say, do you consider your plans to be like how a fitness trainer plans for your health? It's a kind of an interesting analogy, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I saw that email that came in. That's the short version, but basically, yeah, he said, I help people plan for their fitness. Is that basically what you do in retirement? And yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Health and wealth planning essentially are the same.
Yeah.
They're exactly the same. I mean, when you go to the gym, let me ask everyone this. Here's how I'm going to answer this question with a question. When you go to the gym, do you have a plan? Or do you just show up and just wing it and just say, I think I'm going to jump over here and then jump over here, and I don't know what I'm going to do as far as the weights and the reps and the sets, and let's just do something. I'll be fine. Is that going to get you where you want to go in life and with your health? Anyone? Hello? No,
probably
it's
not. No.
You've got to have a plan. Now, do you have to have a personal trainer do it? No. But you need to think, okay, well, today's going to be arm day. I need to do push and pull basically on all of my arm things. And if it's chest day or if it's leg day, or if you're like me and don't have time to go to the gym a lot and you got to do everything at once, I've got to make sure, okay, arms, pull, push, up, down, out, in, everything with every muscle group. That's how you plan. Same thing in retirement. It's the exact same thing, but instead of it being a health plan, it's a wealth plan, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to sit down and figure out, okay, let's not wing your retirement either, just like you don't in the gym. Let's make sure we've got a solid plan. We know what that plan's going to be, and we know that that plan is going to get you to your end result, which isn't, looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's looking like someone that's had a really great retirement, and when you pass away, every single person says, man, that guy did it right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That guy always had enough income. They always were set. They always, even when that market crash happened in 2032, whenever it is that the crash happens, whenever it is, he was totally fine. Let's make sure you're that guy. Let's make sure that now your health is important too. I'm just going to real quick put a plug in here because that guy was a personal trainer. You better make sure you keep up your health too. Mm-hmm. You can't sit on the couch when you retire and sit around and watch Oprah all day, because that's going to put you in the grave quickly, son. You got to make sure that you stay active. You got to make sure that you keep working out in the gym, stay connected to your friends with church or whatever you do. But let's also make sure you've got a plan for retirement so you can enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, what do they say? Sitting is the new smoking, right? Isn't that what they're saying about when folks retire? You got to stay active. You got to keep your body moving. You got to keep your mind in check as well. And really, a lot of parallels between health and wealth, strength training versus your financial health as well. And folks, if you're tuned in today, you'd like to learn more. Maybe you're looking for that coach off the field when it comes to your finances. He's Tim Wood. He's the founder, president, and certified financial fiduciary with Safe Money Retirement. And folks, if you want to get on his calendar today with no cost and no obligation, start putting that plan together for 20, 30, even 40 years worth of your retirement. It all starts with one simple phone call. 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233. Online anytime at safemoneyretirement.com. That's safemoneyretirement.com. All right, when we return, we'll tell you why your retirement plan differs from everybody else that walks through the door at Safe Money Retirement. Plus, why is age 59 and a half so important when it comes to your finances? We'll explain as we continue with this week's edition of the Safe Money Retirement Show right after this.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck. Do you still have all of your retirement money at risk in the market? Most know that I don't do that. It's way too dangerous, in my opinion, at least. The fact the market could fall off a cliff tomorrow, yet many don't have an expert you can trust. Let me tell you about Tim Wood. Now, he's the owner of Safe Money Retirement. That's a certified financial fiduciary and a best-selling author. I met Tim personally, and I can tell you that he and his team can help you plan your own guaranteed lifetime income streams to cover you and your spouse and grow your money while protecting it from a market crash. Go to safemoneyretirement.com/Beck or call 800-913-SAFE to schedule a no-obligation free 15-minute discovery call with Tim. You know I just don't trust anyone, and so do your own homework with Tim at safemoneyretirement.com/Beck and book your free discovery call with Tim online or call 800-913-SAFE and get started today.
It is the Safe Money Retirement Show, and we're glad to have you with us. Alongside Tim Wood, certified financial fiduciary, I'm Kevin McAlpin. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And as always, Tim and I are so happy you've carved just a small part of it to spend with us here on the show. So, Tim, I want to have a little fun here in this segment because I know the older we get, there are just certain moments in life where you realize something has changed. And not necessarily in a bad way, just your priorities. They just might not be the same as they used to be. Well, if that's you, I want you to listen to comedian Sheng Wang.
But sometimes you do things you thought you would never ever do. Like I recently bought pants from Costco. That's a big deal. That's a new chapter in your life, right? Because when you buy pants from Costco, that's when you don't care anymore. That's when we let go of our egos and we begin our spiritual journey. Because you hear people say stuff like, oh, I'm not concerned about other people's opinions. I don't care about what they think. That is just talk until you back it up with the Costco pants purchase. That's how you let them know he for real. He don't give a damn for real. He wearing Kirkland pants. Don't mess with him.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point in life. Have you, Tim?
No.
No.
I have not.
I just get
Not yet.
I get the steaks and the pork chops from Costco. I don't know about you.
Absolutely. And the office supplies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Back in the day, it was diapers and wipes. My goodness, we went through some runs there at Costco over the years. But Tim, to his point, I think it's a really interesting one as well. Let's talk about when folks start making decisions based on really what actually works for them and really, in your opinion, how that should change their retirement plan. Because again, I know everybody's hopes, goals, dreams, bucket list, everybody's desires are completely unique in retirement.
They are 100% different. And that's why every single client, y'all have heard me talk about this before, every single client's plan that we do here at Safe Money Retirement, totally unique. There are no two plans that are alike. I'm going to be honest with you, people. And essentially the way that we try to design these things is we start and we actually build. One thing that I was just saying, another person that was in here recently, they've got 28 rental properties. One of my clients. Yeah, he's done incredibly well. And I was explaining to him, I was like, well, you know, the way that I look at retirement, it's a lot like the properties you've got. What's the most important piece to a piece of real estate? What's the most important thing to a house? He immediately said the foundation. I said, that's exactly right. If your foundation isn't strong, the rest of the house is going to crumble at some point. Well, what do you think the foundation for a strong and safe retirement is? It's income. It's guaranteed lifetime income that neither you nor your spouse can ever outlive. That is the foundation for a successful retirement. And then we build on from that. That's one of the first things that we do, and that's why it's different for everybody. Because you know what? Some people already have enough income. Another client that was here late last week, they already had, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was 6 figures in guaranteed lifetime income already. Wow. They both had solid pensions. They had both made a lot of money, so they both had good Social Security. You know what? They didn't need any more income. Okay, but let's make sure. Let's make sure your income is set. If it is, fantastic. Step 2, and the frame of the house, let's make sure you've got growth plans, that you can't lose any in, that you don't have to worry about when that market bubble pops, that you know you're getting good growth, and your absolute worst case scenario is zero, not negative. You don't have to worry about that market math of when the market goes down 30, you need a 42 to 43% gain. I just did workshops here locally at my local college, ETSU. One of the things that I talk about in the workshops is the market math. Y'all have heard me that listen to this show a lot talk about this, but most of the financial advice companies out there, they're just talking about average. We've averaged 7% over the last 10 years. Look at how impressive we are. Folks, you do not care about average returns. They make no difference to you at all. That is absolutely a marketing number. Why? Let's just use some numbers. If you had whatever you had in your account, and if it went down 30% and then went back up 30%, what's your average? Zero, right? But let's put some real numbers to that. If you had 100,000 in an account and you lost 30%, easy math, you're down to 70. If it goes up 30%, did you just get back to where you were?
Nope.
You need 41 to 42%. It goes down 50% like it did twice between 2000 and 2010. Hello? If it does that again, you need 100% growth just to get back to where you were. That's what you got to make sure you're prepared for. That's another really big part of this. And another thing is every single person's plan is different. And I'm not talking about just for income. I'm talking about just in what does someone want to do in retirement. One of the things that I do in my fact finder, and sometimes, a lot of times, the husband and wife will look at each other like, well, I don't know. What do we really want to do? We've always just worked and had kids and taken care of the kids and kept working and sleep and get up and work and work and work. I don't know. What do we want to do? Well, let's talk about that. Are there trips you've wanted to take? Do you want to join the country club? Do you want to get on the senior PGA tour one of these days? I mean, what do you want to do? You know, this is the second chapter of your life. And once we figure that out, now we can make a real plan. Now we know what you want to do. What are your goals? What are your dreams? So we need to align that plan with your personal priorities, whatever that is. Whatever your priorities are going to be, we're going to align that. And then the last thing that I would say on this is, you know, the shift from buying your clothes at Belk to buying it at Costco, that absolutely is a shift. I totally agree with him.
Right.
You know, there's also a shift that happens in your financial lives, people. You have been in the acquisition phase your entire life. 100% of your life, and that's, you know, let's grow, try to get away from any losses, grow. Fantastic. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's what I'm still doing in my investment accounts. Let's go. But when you get to retirement, you now step away from acquisition and move into distribution. Totally different mindset, totally different types of plans, and a totally different outcome. Instead of you growing, we need to make sure that we've got enough to distribute now from it. Now, if you've already got enough guaranteed income and you don't need distributions, great. Okay. Let's take a portion that you want to make sure that you've got no matter what happens in the market. Let's move that into a growth plan with no chances of losses and no fees. Let's move that into a plan that's got a strong long-term care multiplier that you can use while you're still around. Again, rates change all the time. There's a plan out there that I got a guy a few months ago. He put $300,000 into this fixed plan. It's got a 315% multiplier for long-term care after 10 years. So 300,000 plus the 315% multiplier plus the guaranteed growth. Now he's got really good health, and there are some things. I mean, you got to make sure you're in good health to qualify for this. But for him, that 300,000 in 10 years gives him 1.27 million to use tax-free for long-term care.
Wow.
That's a plan. That's what we need to do, and sit down and look holistically at everything. How do you want to pass along your money when you're gone? Did you realize that everything that's in your IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, all of the pre-tax stuff, unless it goes to your spouse, pretty much, there are some exceptions, but pretty much if it goes to anybody else, they've got to have all those taxes paid within 10 years. They don't have a choice. Let's make a plan. What do you want to do? That's kind of what I would say to all of that is, again, I hate to beat a dead horse because we do this every single week. Get with someone. It doesn't have to be me. Honest to God, it doesn't. Sit down with a certified financial fiduciary that's totally independent and make sure your plan is the best.
Well, if you'd like to sit down with Tim Wood, he is a certified financial fiduciary. And folks, I think one thing is clear. Retirement is not a one-size-fits-all approach, right? Your financial future deserves personal attention and someone getting to know your goals and dreams in retirement. You've been saving for decades to get to this point. Now it's your opportunity to enjoy what you've been looking forward to for all of these years. Retirement, not just about growing a pile of money and picking at it. And if you're looking for more clarity when it comes to income, taxes, investments, and more, it all starts with one call to Tim Wood and the team at Safe Money Retirement. 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233 or online at safemoneyretirement.com. That's safemoneyretirement.com. And Tim, I know a lot of folks out there tuned in. They know there are certain birthdays that matter in retirement planning, right? Age 62 can mean Social Security. 65 gets you Medicare. And of course, 73, those RMDs. But there's another milestone that I think kind of flies under the radar for a lot of folks out there. It's 59 and a half. So let's talk to the folks out there that might be at that point or maybe just recently crossed over that threshold. Why 59 and a half is such an important milestone in financial planning.
Well, why 59 and a half, people? Because your government I don't know why they picked 59 and a half.
Yeah.
They did. That's the date. That's the date that several key things happen. Like Kevin said, there's several other dates. 62, you can take social. I try to work with people on social to try to defer that as long as we can because that gives you more income the rest of your life. But that's a whole other conversation. Yes, your RMDs could start at 73, or if you're born 60 or later, they're going to start at 75. Those are important dates. 59 and a half. Why is that important? You now have penalty-free access to all of your retirement accounts. Number one. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of retirement type accounts that you can't really even do anything with until you're 59 and a half. I've got clients all the time that will come talk to me. Just had one recently that came and talked to me. She's 57 now. And when she contacted her 401k company, she found out there's nothing we can really do until 59 and a half. Okay. Good Lord willing, I'm still going to be here. You'll still be here. You know, I gave her a little advice to try to, I basically advised her to try to call the company and get it into as safe plans as you can with the 401k because she's really concerned about a market event. But we really can't do anything till 59 and a half. Why? Because that's when you get penalty-free access to all of your money. So honestly, it is a perfect time to review your 401ks, your IRAs, your TSPs, 403bs, 457s, all of those type of plans, all of your tax-deferred type plans. Perfect time to review them is 59 and a half. Now, does that mean you're going to move it? No. That means you need to sit down with someone that knows what they're doing and let's make a plan. The plan may be, let's leave it where it is until you retire at 65. The plan may be, let's go ahead and move a portion out now and put it into a guaranteed lifetime income so we can get you the income you need at 65. The plan may be, let's pull a portion out and putting into a guaranteed a growth plan or a long-term care. There's a bunch of different things. I certainly can't mention everything, but a lot of that stuff opens up at 59 and a half. That's why that's such a big deal. Also a good time to consider rolling over, like I just said, any of that money into a different plan. Now, Am I going to have to pay taxes on all that if I do that? No. If it's done wisely. I don't have one right in front of me, and for those watching the video, I could show you if I had one right in front of me, the forms to move the money. There's literally one box that says transfer, and right next to it is another little tiny box that says roll over. If you check the wrong one, you're liable for all the taxes right now this year. You got to make sure you check the right one. That's why we literally triple check when we do any of those for people. I do it, then my office manager checks it, and then a lady in Atlanta checks it for me before it's actually submitted. We make sure. So again, just sitting down, 59 and a half is an absolutely perfect time in your life to sit down, make sure you're on track because now you've got access to everything. We can sit down, make a plan, and that plan may be keep doing what you're doing for a while. Or it may be, let's call an audible real quick on this portion or whatever. While you're still working, we probably don't want to close the 401k because in theory, you and the company should still be contributing to it. We don't want to close it, but we might move part of it to put it somewhere safer and to get you a benefit that you're looking for.
I know a lot of folks out there listening, you spent years focused on growing that nest egg, but you never really revisited that strategy when you reached 59 and a half. And if you heard some things from Tim that got you thinking, maybe you need to sit down with somebody and really start reviewing where these costly mistakes could happen. This is where opportunities could be lying in your retirement accounts. Tim Wood and his team at Safe Money Retirement, they are here to help folks. And if you'd like to schedule your complimentary consultation with Tim and his team, you can reach him today. 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233 or online anytime. Once again, it's safemoneyretirement.com. Well, Tim, this has zipped right on by like it tends to do every week. And before we run out of time, my friend, the floor is all yours for the final word.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Another great show today. Short on time, so I'm going to be really quick. We talked about a bunch of really important things. Making the transition from acquisition to distribution, huge. 59.5. What should we do at 59.5? Huge. Keeping your health and your wealth in track while you're in retirement and for your whole life. That's another big thing. But I want to go back to the very first thing that we talked about when we first started today and how important it is to make sure that you have got a proper plan because, again, retirement often doesn't happen on your time. It's not going to happen on my time either, and it's not going to happen exactly the way that we plan it. We've got to make sure that you're prepared and that you don't underestimate how long retirement's going to last and make sure you've got a long plan that's going to allow you to have your own safe money retirement.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Obviously, by contacting us now, you are only taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified, licensed insurance professional. It is important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Interest and other guarantees in annuity contracts are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance carrier that issued the contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice.